Millionaires of Reddit. How did you become so wealthy? In my 20s, I was a computer programmer just as the web started exploding in popularity. I could wire up websites and databases back when internet technologies were new and tooling was still primitive. I never hit it big with a viral website like Facebook or Amazon, but I did charge a lot for programming services, and I used that money to buy houses at first, and ultimately, apartment building in coastal California. In my 40s now, I don't feel very wealthy really, oddly. I still check prices when shopping, and I plan to drive my old Jeep until it dies. When I travel, I often pay to fly first class and I do enjoy the nicer hotels. But, other than that, I live and spend rather simply. Always saved up a lot of money, 40% of my pay, and continually put it into stocks. Investment returns have outdone my savings for quite a while. Well, last year my fiance's grandparents won a stupid amount of money in the lotto, double-digit millions. They were generous enough to share with the family. I grew up below the poverty line, so my life is nuts RN. I enlisted in the army when I was 18. I liked it. I asked to become an officer, and they let me. The army sent me to college and I graduated. My officer pay was way higher, and in the army you don't have very many bills. I found I could save in between $1,000 and $5,000 every month of my life. After my second deployment, I was sitting on about $200,000. I hired a financial manager. He did well a few years. I've bought and rented out a couple houses. I've got 17 years in the army, creeping closer to a portfolio worth $2 million and a good pension in retirement. I'm about to make lieutenant colonel. I'm in my late 30s. Just grind and save. Edit. Gold. Thanks. I should add that this job really sucks and I hate it a lot of the time. But due to the peaks and valleys of monetary motivation, I have to do it for a few more years. I live in Eastern Europe. In 1990, I took out a huge loan and bought 10 apartments and furnished them. I rent them out to people, and with the money I earn from them, I pay off the loan payments. I do this every 10 years. I have now 30 apartments and one employee who I pay to maintain them and make sure payments and maintenance is handled. The key is finding good tenants and maintaining a good relationship with them. It is not that hard, but a key to this strategy. I used to run an apple cart in New York City. Would buy an apple for $5 and sell it for $10. Did this for 20 years. Then my wife's father died and left us a chain of hotels. I sell overpriced consultancy time to those who don't know any better. I am on track of being a millionaire by just investing in my 401k. I started my career at 20 years old right after graduating from college and started investing the minimum to my $401,000. Never really thought much of it until I did those calculators and realized that since I started so young, the compound interest on any investment account with a decent return would be huge. I would recommend you just put anything away. Everyone tells you to max your investments, but honestly not everyone can invest $18,000 a year. Do the math of how much $200 a month will grow in 30 years. This might not be the exact answer, but this will easily get you to be a millionaire at some point. Please send me £1. When 1 million people have sent their pound, I will be able to answer this question. I actually hit big at a casino a while back. Not enough where I can afford to quit my job and buy a mansion, but I'm comfy and so will my son be. Through hard work and perseverance, I established a reputation for honesty and competence. I was slowly promoted to increasing positions of responsibility and remuneration. I saved prodigiously and invested wisely. I married well to someone with similar values. Well, sir, I step in front of cars and so the drivers. Converted all of my money into Zimbabwean dollars. Being frugal. Not buying new cars. Not caring about what others think. Saving and investing and doing it again. Not making knee-jerk investments. Letting them ride long-term and not freaking out at every market correction. For me it was a slow game, but fun to watch it take off. The stock market is a tool for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. Not there yet, but getting there. STEM degree for both wife and I bag my lunch and drink from water fountain. I eat out with coworkers, maybe once a month. Fill up my trusty clean canteen bottle daily with the free ice from cafeteria and water from the water fountain. In my lower 30s right now. Have a $500,000 house bought 2 years ago, about 40% paid off. Hope to pay it off completely well before I turn 40. Currently about $350,000 in bank between liquid and stocks. Currently driving a 9-year-old Scion. Wife has a 13-year-old Camry. Daughter's toys are from the thrift store. Haven't had cable TV ever. Love Costco and Walmart. Love looking at deal sites. That doesn't mean we do not enjoy life. We've been backpacking in Europe. Have visited Dubai, Bahamas, Bermuda, Puerto Rico, Vegas numerous times, Canada numerous times. Go into Cali in less than a month. My philosophy is this: you get rich by acting poor in things that really don't please your heart. We like traveling, so we do that. I like photography, so I have a DSLR. Wife likes nail polish, so she has like a big box full of them. I don't care much about food, so I bag it and we rarely eat out. Same with our cars. Live simply, invest and spend wisely, love unconditionally. My first million was the hardest to attain. It took me a good 10 to 15 years to find the perfect bank near the highway, a safecracker that's not a complete fucking idiot, and an inside man that's not going to fold under a little bit of stress. Once I got my perfect team, getting the million was easy. The second was easier now that I got some experience under my belt. This might not seem like the obvious path, but I approached a few of the wealthier individuals I found on my social media and pitched them my company idea. See the movie Wolf of Wall Street taught to me: never spend your own money when you can spend someone else's. I then created an internet startup company that specialized in dog fart collectio. I am not a millionaire. I sold 18% of my company for a large sum of money and we worked together to expand. At last, my time to shine. I was never too good in school, could read and write and do basic maths but nothing more. I did really enjoy woodworking though and anything using my hands. I left school as soon as I could as I wanted to leave home. Lived in pretty shitty places, just scraping by on pretty much minimal wage, working retail and hospitality until a mate of mine said I could probably make money on the side with my woodworking. He'd seen bits and pieces I made around the house. There was no Etsy back then, so I had to do most of my stuff without any research as to what people would like and then try to hawk it via classified and cards in local shops. I couldn't believe it when my first piece sold, even though for the time I'd spent making it I hadn't even made minimum wage. However, I kept at it and made a variety of ornaments which people liked and then started doing commissions. Things got bigger and bigger and I could quit my shitty job to do it full time. Within a couple of years of selling my first piece, I was getting more requests than I could fulfill, but still only making an okay living out of it. About 3 years to the day from my first ever sale, I actually had a motorbike accident and lost the use of my left hand, fortunately not my dominant hand. I decided to try and get a couple of the local homeless guys to help out and provide them with meals and a share of the sale prices. Obviously, this meant we could make and I could sell many more pieces, but I actually found I was making less money once stuff was split up. And to add insult to injury, a couple of the guys ripped me off and stole a lot of my stuff. I was back at square one. I decided to move back into making more basic pieces that would be quicker and simpler, and that's when my mom died and left me $1 million. Is millionaire defined by assets? Because I just qualify based on the value of my property, but I'm shit poor in terms of cash flow. I have always been very frugal and saved significantly more than anyone else I know. Bought a property at the age of 23, which appreciated in value by a significant amount. However, I am just barely paying off the loan, so I'm poor as. I opened an avocado toast food truck. Self-made. Cracked the first $1 million just after 33 sometime. Then the next few came quickly. The best advice is to build capital early. I scrimped and saved and had my first car till I was 30 and it totally shat itself. Didn't waste money on holidays or any expenditure that wasn't 100% necessary. Holidays consisted just of time of work and going to beach or doing fun-free things. So once I had a little nest egg $10,000, I got a house, and every time I had a spare $50 put it against the mortgage. Then every time I got a pay rise, the difference onto the mortgage, not to increase in lifestyle. I'm 45 now and saving becomes less of a priority, so the base capital is there. I can spend every cent I earn and my base will still increase. Summary: get saving early. What car and what clothes you wear don't change who you are. The real question is, why do wealthy people live like they are poor, and poor people live like they are wealthy? Poor people chase a feeling, wealthy people chase a goal. If you are in your 20s, you might want to look up the term compound interest. In your 20s, it is possible to put money away for some time, stop funding, and retire a millionaire. The most difficult part of the entire thing is pretending like the money doesn't exist when times get tough. Saving, investing, not wasting my money buying every new piece of crap to keep up with the Joneses. Don't gamble. Don't waste your money, period. Keep track of everything you spend money on and see how much is wasted on trivial things you don't need. Eat out less. As earlier posted, knowledge is key. Learn basic finances and keep learning. I married an awesome businessman. Disclaimer: he was broke when we met. I stood by him during the recession, when we had to put our house and everything we owned on the line. We were in danger of losing everything but got through it together. Thanks for watching. Share your stories in the comments.